Hmm. This woman is definitely one of those women in the Bible that often slips through the cracks of conversation. And ever since I we did Bible as literature in school, I it changed the way I thought about her. And honestly, I'm sure many of us would not even bring up her name unless we're reading the story of Queen Esther. And while she only seems as a prelude to Esther's rise, there's definitely some tea to learn from Vashti. And I was wondering, why Queen Vashti? Why now? And then as I sat with it, the story began to unfold in my heart. Vashti's story is a story of dignity. Yes, you heard that first from me. It is a story of dignity. It's a story of a woman who stood her ground in a culture that reduced her to an ornament of beauty. She was the queen of Persia, for crying out loud, one of the biggest kingdoms of that time. But when King Xerxes called for her, it was not to seek her counsel, it was not to celebrate her, but it was to parade her before his drunken guests, and she refused. Her defiance was shocking, even dangerous. The text doesn't tell us if she was afraid, it doesn't elaborate on her internal struggle, but what it does tell us is that Vashti said no. And that no cost her a throne. And to this day, she's an example of a woman who's not submissive and disobedient. For many years, I've heard Vashti painted as prideful, rebellious, or even an obstacle in the narrative of Queen Esther. But what if a story isn't just about disobedience? What if it's about knowing when to draw a line, about holding on to dignity, even when the world around you demands you to let it go? Vashti's story reminds me of how God values women beyond their roles or appearance. It echoes his love for us as individuals with worth that isn't tied to what we do, how we look, or even who we marry. Vashti's removal paved the way for Esther, no doubt, but that doesn't erase the significance of her moment. God's love and redemption are multifaceted, and Vashti's story whispers a different kind of redemption, the kind where standing firm, even in loss, can reflect his image in us. It makes me wonder, what, what is Vashti's legacy? What Vashti's legacy could have been if her story didn't end there? Did a refusal inspire other women in unseen ways? Did her courage plant seeds of change in the hearts of those who witnessed it? As I reflected, I hear this reminder: you are fearfully and wonderfully made, according to Psalm 139, verse 14. Your worth is more and is not determined by anyone else's demands or opinions. Vashti's story reminds us to carry ourselves with confidence of being loved and valued by God. And even when the cost feels high, our loss of a crown didn't diminish our worth. Neither can any loss diminish yours. Queen Vashti may not be the centerpiece of the Bible, but her story is no less important. It's a call to remember who you are in God and to know when to say no, even when it costs you everything. Because in God's eyes, your dignity is always worth preserving. Thank you for listening and watching. Sit with me for another episode where I spill the tea of another good, bad, unpopular girl of the Bible. Bye-bye.